So this court case is going to involve Morgan, who's a key witness. She owns a pet stress relief store, and she had a pet armadillo stolen from her store. The accused is Anna. Sorry, she just took a bite. We're working at lunch here. So Anna is accused of stealing the pet armadillo, and Kelly is a lawyer for Morgan, and she's going to use her strategies to try to put Anna in jail, and she's going to do that by using Morgan's key witness expertise. However, Anna is a good person, and she has secured a defense lawyer. And her defense lawyer is over here, which is Drake. And you will hear Drake making some arguments about why Anna is a good person and she is not going to be going to jail for this crime. And officiating over all of this is going to be Dylan. He is going to be our judge, and he's going to be helping to make sure the rules of law are followed. And then Irva will be our camera person. You see her now, but this will be the last time you see her. So this first scene, we're going to have the key witness, which is Morgan, or aka DJ Pennypincher, being direct examined by her lawyer, Kelly. And their goal is to make the key witness sound like a reliable person and that the defendant is the only one who could have committed the crime. So pay attention to some of the strategies they use. And one note is that in your trial, you're not going to be using computers as much. You will know your trial so well that it will be not memorized, but it'll sound like it is you. You are the person. In this case, students are helping out at lunch, so obviously they don't know the script, so they're going to rely on computers. That's the main difference. You won't have to do that. So the judge will start with you.
Counselor, please call your first witness to stand for direct examination.
Your Honor, the prosecution calls DJ Pennypincher to the stand. Please state your name for the court.
I'm DJ Pennypincher.
Where do you work?
I own a business that provides stress relief therapy for pets. I also hire out my talented pet armadillo for parties.
So you would say that you are a responsible business owner?
Yes, of course. I own my business and am responsible for employing 35 workers.
Tell me what you saw on the day in question.
Well, I was walking to my store, which I generally do to be more eco-friendly, and I saw the defendant hanging around my shop.
Is the defendant in the courtroom today?
Yes, that is the evil person who stole my armadillo. Why? Why would you steal Army? He never did anything to hurt you.
Order, order. Sit down, Mrs. Pennypincher. Compose yourself.
Did you say anything?
No. I tried to assume the best out of people, so I just said good morning to her. I figured she was just relaxing on a beautiful morning.
And was she?
Well, I found out later that day an employee reported to me that she stole my pet armadillo from the store.
Was there anyone else in the store?
No, she was alone in the store. My employee saw her when she came out from the store room and back.
Was there anyone else outside the store?
From the time the employee came out from the back room to the time I saw the defendant, no one was in our store and no one was on the sidewalk outside the store.
Why would anyone want your pet armadillo?
Yes, many people have tried to steal Army. He is a special armadillo because he can cure the common cold, he cooks excellent broccoli casserole, and does magic tricks to entertain people.
How long have you been a business owner?
I started my business in college, so over 10 years now.
How does that compare to other business owners on the block?
I have been an owner for the longest period of time. I am very responsible.
No further questions.
Okay, so what we've been doing is you heard Morgan, aka DJ Pennypincher, talk about being a responsible business owner for over a decade. She talked about how she's eco-friendly, so she's a likable person. The only possible person that could have taken this armadillo was Anna, according to her testimony. And then she also got a motive. DJ Pennypincher pointed out a motive that this armadillo is very talented. So it suggests there's a reason why someone would want to steal it. Now you're going to hear Drake, who is the defense attorney. He's going to cross-examine the key witness, and he's going to try to undo everything Kelly just did, whether it's credibility or bias or motive. He's going to try to undo all of the hard work she just did. So Drake, Dylan, you'll get us started, and then Drake will begin.
Counselor, please cross-examine the witness.
So, Ms. Pennypincher, You are quite responsible person, correct?
Yes, I already said that.
Do responsible business owners get fined the Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as SEC?
Of course not.
Isn't it true that you received 2 infractions for tax evasion last year?
Yes, but
Just a yes or no response, please.
yes.
So by your own logic, you could not be considered responsible, could you?
But
Just a yes or no response, please.
no.
Isn't it also true that you were also fined by the SEC harassing my client, Sally McAngelson, in your store?
Sally started it.
Just a yes or no response, please.
Yes.
Isn't it also true that your business had lost money because Sally also owns a successful store for pet relaxation?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may be seated, Mrs. Pennypincher.
Okay, so in this scene, you saw Drake poking some holes in the story of the prosecution. First of all, he pointed out that Mrs. Pennypincher has a business that has been fined by the government for tax evasion, things they shouldn't have been doing, hurts her credibility. And they also showed how the defendant had a store that's very similar to the key witnesses, and the defendant's store is actually doing better a little bit than theirs, maybe hurting the business. And so what Drake was doing is raising some doubt. Maybe Mrs. Pennypincher is testifying not because the defendant stole this armadillo, but because they want them out of business, because they're hurting their business. Okay, so the prosecution already had a chance to go. The defense will go second. The one difference here is that typically a defendant, especially if it's a major trial, is not going to testify. However, we are going to in class, and that's why we're including the defendant testifying. So Drake will now direct examine his defendant, and is going to do the same thing that Kelly tried to do with her lawyer, or with her witness, but he's going to try to show that there's some doubt in the testimony that others have given. So Dylan, you can get us started.
Counselor, please call your first witness to stand for direct examination.
Your Honor, the prosecution calls Sally McAngelson to stand. To the stand. Please state your name for the court.
My name is Sally McAngelson. You can tell by my name I'm a good person.
Please tell the court about your business.
I own a business that provides stress relief for pets. I have owned my business for over a decade.
Please tell the court how many infractions your business has received from the SEC.
Not one in my entire life.
Not even during the busy tax season.
No, never. I was questioned once, but I think it was because Mrs. Pennypincher tipped off authorities to investigate my business. As it turns out, the government fined her and not me.
So is Miss Pennypincher still upset that the situation resulted in her business receiving a fine?
Apparently, yes, and it seems like she wants to get back at me now.
Tell me what happened on the day in question.
I was waiting outside on the sidewalk because a pet owner wanted to meet me for a quote on how much I would charge to help his pet toucan relax. The pet owner did not want to meet in my store because his toucan would be stressed out being near all the other animals.
This practice of meeting someone on the street is very unusual, isn't it?
Yes, but I pride myself on doing what my customers need to feel comfortable.
That accommodation sounds like something a responsible business owner would do, doesn't it?
Yes, I am very responsible.
What were you doing then outside of Miss Pennypincher's store, and not your own?
I was not outside her store, I was outside my store.
Why is it that you were identified by Miss Pennypincher as standing on the sidewalk outside her store?
Well, I thought I saw an injured bird while I was waiting for my customer, so I ran across the street to massage its wing. After I set it free, I ran into Miss Pennypincher, but I wasn't hanging outside my store. I was only there a minute to help the bird.
No further questions.
Thank you, Counselor.
Okay, so what we saw in this scene was that Sally McAngelson is a business owner that has never been fined by the SEC, so she has credibility there, whereas the key witness has been fined by them. They suggested that maybe this key witness tipped off the authorities, so maybe she has a grudge against the defendant. Sally McAngelson is meeting her clients out on the sidewalk, is helping an injured bird who's across the street, so she's a good person, she's likable. And there's also an explanation of why she was outside the store of Mrs. Pennypincher, and because she was helping a bird, not stealing armadillos. Our last scene is going to be Kelly, the prosecution attorney, cross-examining the defendant, Anna. So she's going to try to do the same thing that happened when Morgan was cross-examined by Drake. They're going to aim for bias. They're going to aim for credibility. They're going to try to undo all of the hard work Drake just did to build up Sally McAngelson's credibility. Kelly's going to try to undo that.
Counselor, please cross-examine the witness.
Please tell me the witness involved who cleared your name during the government investigation into tax evasion.
DJ Penny Pincher.
She is a friend of yours, isn't she?
Not really.
Tell the court what this is a picture of.
Mrs. Penny Pincher and me.
What are you holding up in the picture?
A sign.
What does the sign say?
BFFLEASCIO.
What does that acronym stand for?
Best friends for life even after social studies class is over.
Isn't it also true that Mrs. Penny Pincher has been commended as a model business owner by the Franklin Chamber of Commerce for the past 10 consecutive years?
I don't remember.
I'm surprised you don't since you are a business owner. Here is an article from the Franklin News. Please read it.
Local business owner Mrs. Penny Pincher named model business owner for 10th consecutive year.
Isn't it true that you have never won the Model Business Owner Award?
Yes.
And isn't it true that Miss Penny Pincher's store has never received a customer complaint ever?
Yes.
So her store has been open 6 days a week for 52 weeks per year and has been open for over 10 years, which amounts to over 3,000 days. And if 10 customers per day enter the store, 30,000 people have entered the store and not one has ever filed a complaint against him. Now you claim she is lying and he actually made the story up to hurt your business.
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
No further questions.
All right, so what you had here, other than I had a few typos in there, I should have said he, sorry about that, Kelly, or should have said she. But they're implying that Sally McAngelson might not be as clean or as reliable or responsible as she claims. That she's never won this Model Business Owner Award, and DJ Penny Pincher has won it. Maybe Sally is jealous because she's never won the award, and maybe DJ Penny Pincher, since she's won the award, has done nothing wrong and is just, Sally's just jealous of her for what she's achieved, and that DJ Penny Pincher is a responsible business owner, has seen 30,000 customers, never ever had a complaint about anything they've done. So you saw in the direct examination establishing the credibility of DJ Penny Pincher, showing that she's a responsible business owner, that Sally McAngelson's the only one at the crime scene, so that it couldn't have been anybody else. There was a motive of jealousy, possibly, of DJ Penny Pincher's business because she won so many awards. But then in the cross-examination, you saw that Penny Pincher, as a business owner, was attacked by breaking the rules. She'd been fined by the SEC and maybe even has a grudge at this new business from Sally McAngelson, and maybe that's why she's trying to get rid of her, because she's hurting her business. In the direct examination for the defense, you saw the credibility of Sally McAngelson. She's never been fined by the SEC. There was a reason why she was at the crime scene, helping the bird. Talked about how she's a good person. She was meeting her future customer out on the sidewalk, accommodating her customer. She sounds like a great person, and never had been in trouble. But then under cross-examination, maybe Sally doesn't sound quite as responsible as she could have been. Maybe she lied about the key witness situation. Maybe the main witness, which is DJ Penny Pincher, maybe she actually is a responsible business owner because she hasn't been had a customer complaint filed against her in all those years and all those customers. She's won 10 awards in a row. So that hits at Sally McAngelson's credibility. Maybe she's making that story up just because she wants the key witness to look like a bad person. So overall, hopefully this gives you a little idea of what you're going to be doing in the trial. Again, you're going to have different strategies for your specific trial, and these are just some strategies you can use. Obviously, you'll know your character very well. We're all reading off of this because we're doing this at lunch. It has to be quick, but you'll have plenty of time over a week to really get to know your character so well that when you sit up there, you'll get to literally be that character, so you don't have to read off of this. But hopefully this gives you an idea of the structure of your questioning and answering.